Emma Niederer, my great-grandmother, was a Yugoslavian immigrant who came to America in 1929. Like many other European immigrants of the time, she came in search of a better life and trying to chase the American dream. Emma had always wanted to come to America. After World War I, there was unrest in her native country of Yugoslavia due to the division of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. So in 1929, to escape the turmoil, she and her sister Helen left their family and set off across the Atlantic. During the 1920s, nativist feelings spread across the U.S. Immigrants were coming in large numbers and taking jobs away from U.S.-born citizens. So in 1924, an Immigration Act was passed which greatly limited immigration. The quota was especially restrictive for Southern and Eastern Europeans. After several unsuccessful attempts to be allowed to come to the U.S., Emma Niederer decided to come to America illegally. She took a boat across the Atlantic and arrived in Canada in March of 1929. She worked there for a few months as a domestic servant before sneaking into the U.S. through the St. Lawrence River on Christmas Eve of 1929. Domestic servantry was a popular occupation for single women in the 1930s. It paid more than factory work, and many employers did not mind hiring illegal immigrants. Servants usually lived with their employers and performed tasks such as laundry, cooking, cleaning, and serving. Emma worked as a domestic servant for German Jewish families in New York. Her job opportunities were limited because she could not speak English yet. However, working for these wealthy families, who spoke German, allowed her to adequately support herself until she married in 1935. After the stock market crashed on October 29, 1929, the country was catapulted into a devastating depression. As unemployment in the U.S. rose to a staggering 25%, many Americans found themselves out of work, without adequate housing, and starving. Emma lived in New York during the Depression, and times were tough. However, she was fortunate enough to have a job. German girls were always in demand to work for Jewish families because there was no language barrier, and they were known for being hard workers and good cooks. Through being frugal and sharing an apartment with her sister, Emma was able to make it through the Depression without a great deal of trouble. Like many other immigrants of the time, Emma came to the U.S. chasing the American dream. She had to fight to get in and struggled through the Great Depression, but nevertheless she achieved this dream and lived comfortably with her husband Frank and daughter Helen for many years.